Hi everyone, I'm Shadi. I'm here in Silka Kitchen, which means one thing, it's time for another Persian Kitchen recipe. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make classic Nan Barbari, which is a delicious, thick, fluffy Persian bread topped with sesame seeds and nigella seeds. It's super delicious and really easy, so have some fun, get in the kitchen and give it a go. So let's get cracking. Firstly, get your stand mixer prepared with a dough hook. And this recipe is going to make 2 regular sized loaves, maybe just under 30 centimeters long and about 10-15 centimeters wide, and hopefully 1 to 2 centimeters thick. So you're going to need 500 grams of bread flour. How you go about that is down to you. I've tried mixes just with white flour, mixes purely with whole wheat flour, but I prefer a mix of 3/5, so 300 grams of strong white bread flour, with 200 grams of plain wholemeal baking flour. Now this one's really good. I've tried this one and a few others, but I like the Allison's one. So yeah, if you need a recommendation, go for that. So chuck all of them in. To that, you're going to add a tablespoon, so that's 15 grams of butter. It can be salted or unsalted, just go with whatever's convenient. 1 typical sachet of yeast, so that's around 7 grams. 5 grams of sugar, can be granulated or caster, and 7 grams of salt. So dump all of them into your stand mixer and get it going. So once that's kind of evenly mixed together, I'm going to slowly pour in 320 mils of nice warm water and bring it all together. I'm just going to stop the mixer just to bring down the bits at the side, because I need everything to come together before we bring it to a knead for about 10 minutes in our mixer. So just go around and scrape the bowl. Great, so this is now starting to come together. So it's at this point I want to turn the speed to a medium and keep that on for 10 minutes. So let's start a 10-minute clock. Okay, so the 10 minutes is up. Time to stop the machine. Time to just clean the hook. And this recipe is great because it's really minimal washing up. All we have to do now is cover this bowl in cling film. We don't have to oil the bowl, nothing. So I'm gonna go right on and cover my bowl with cling film and leave this for another 10 minutes. Okay, so the dough has been rising for, well, resting actually for about 10 minutes. So it's time to now take the bowl out of its sealed cover and to pour it out onto a lightly floured surface. So it is still really sticky, but that's all part of the fun. Yummy. What we now want to do is to just split it into 2 balls and then put them onto a bowl to rest for half an hour. So let's get going. So from 1 ball, I want to just split this approximately into 2. And each of these will form into my Barbari loaf. Just don't handle it too much. You don't want to overwork it. Just get it into a nice shaped little ball and cover it with a tea towel or some cling film and let them rest for 30 minutes. Okay, so with Barbari, we don't just bake our bread and that be it. We have a lovely glaze that we put on top of it to keep it, I don't know actually. We just have a glaze on top of it. Luke, cut that. Okay, so with our Nan Barbari, we don't just roll it, shape it and put it in the oven. Before we bake it, we make a really lovely glaze. And this is all it consists of. It's half a cup of water, 1 tablespoon of flour, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, bicarbonate of soda actually, if you're in England. And we are going to bring this to a nice medium heat. So I'm just stirring this over medium heat until it thickens, and this will take no longer than 3 to 4 minutes. This is where you could also flavour your glaze. If you want, you could add a few strands of saffron to have that truly Persian flavour, but you don't have to. Okay, so the dough has been resting for a good half an hour. It's now time to prepare it on our tray and decorate it. So you want to take just one of them. So I recommend doing one per baking tray. You just want to shape it into that traditional Barbari style bread. So I like to stretch it and then pull it like this. So it's kind of like an XXL pita bread. That's kind of the best way I can describe the shape. So it's about 1 centimetre thick at the moment. Now what I'm going to do is take half of my glaze, which is now very thick, but it's great to work with. I'm going to top that on, and you can either, you know, do it nice and elegantly, or you can do it the best way and just use your hands to cover the whole of the bread. Really rub it in. And this is also the point in the recipe where you make the signature grooves on the bread. So just with, you know, your fingers, you can just run it down like so. Just like that. And that's perfect. You now want to top with your sesame seeds and your nigella seeds, and then you're done. Just cover that, and we need to prove it one more time, so we're not done. Look. The amount of sesame seeds and nigella seeds is entirely down to you. I personally love the nigella seeds. They just have so much like warmth to them, but just use maybe a teaspoon of sesame seeds and half a teaspoon of nigella seeds. So we're going to cover this in cling film and let it rise for 30 minutes. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes of the bread's now resting and they're finally ready to bake. So we're just going to take off all the covers and put them in an oven that has been preheated to a fan of 225 degrees C. I'm excited to dig in. So I'm going to take these over now and pop them in the oven for 15 to 18 minutes, just checking on them. So I'll set a timer for 15 minutes and I'll check on it, but cook it for up to like 18 minutes. We want the top to be nice and golden and kind of hollow at the base if you give it a flick. So let's just wait and see now. Okay, so the 15 minutes are up. So I'm just gonna have a quick look and see what I'm working with. And it looks good to me, but it still feels like it's very soft in the middle. So I'm gonna cook it for them additional few minutes, but they look awesome. I'm very pleased with them. But yeah, they could do with a few more moments. So just 3 more minutes max. Okay, so the full time is now up. I'm now gonna have to take them out of the oven and leave them for 10 to 15 minutes before we get stuck in. But they look really brilliant. I'm very happy with them. So you may be wondering how to know if it's ready, because it will look, you know, golden and crispy, but we want to ensure that it's cooked all the way through. So if you just tap the back, you should hear that lovely hollow sound, and that way you know that all the dough has risen inside. It's not stodgy and heavy. So the bread has now been resting for about 10 minutes, so it's time to eat. So I'm just going to actually cut it with a pair of scissors so it's nice and neat, but then we can also give it a test. And cutting it with scissors is a really good idea if you've made loads and you want to freeze it in like bits that are easy to just put in the toaster. You can see here that it's got really nice rise, there's loads of air pockets in there, so it's going to taste super yummy. This bread is super delicious and it goes perfectly with a nice Persian breakfast spread of some freshly sliced cucumber, tomato, cheese, walnuts, equally just dipped in hummus, anything that you really fancy. It really is yummy and it looks and tastes and smells amazing. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please like, subscribe and comment below. Please also follow me on Instagram at PersianKitchen_, and you can check out my website www.thepersiankitchen.co.uk, where you can find a list of stores that stock some of my products, including my delicious Persian ice cream, which comes in a variety of flavours. and many more exciting products soon to be launched. So thanks for tuning in.